Hello and welcome to a 1v1 cast on Leviathan Hive. Starting off, we have Tex playing as the Lord Commissar, and on the other side of the map we have Floid playing as the Hive Tyrant with the Hive Fleet Dragon Elite mod colour scheme on the other side. That is Leviathan Hive, which is an extremely large map. Just look at the amount of distance that there is between the base, between the powers. Can be very annoying trying to actually get around with a slow moving character. Any commanders that can build tunnels, webway gates, or anything as like that definitely has an advantage on this map. There's plenty of places to hide gates and webway gates, but given the two commanders on the field, there is no sign of any webway gates or tunnels that are going to get made. But the Commissar is going to be going in fairly aggressively here, leaving the VP to some guardsmen who are actually cracking the requisition right now. Tex also rushing for the double power as well here with some second guardsman squad, and still no sentinel, in fact still no any third units really, no third guardsman squad or sentinel, so it could be saving up for some early power to actually get a tier 1.5 unit out very quickly here. And generator is going to be going down. At the same time, a node is going to be going down onto the other side as well, very similar to what you see in Eldar builds where they go for double guardians or guardians and banshees as their only tier 1 units. When I say guardians, I actually mean they're avengers, not guardians. But the Commissar already taking some damage here from some Termagants. Hive Tyrant is in the area but actually ignoring the Commissar right now, and the Commissar is not actually turning on his refractor shield, wants to keep that energy saved up apparently, and some guardsmen are going to be engaging some homogons here, but the guardsmen without a sergeant and without taking down these homogons down low enough, these homogons are going to be destroying these guardsmen in melee. A second set of guardsmen are coming in, but already a couple of guardsmen models have gone down. Commissar is coming in to try and deter these homogons from actually engaging in, but some Termagants are also coming in for some range support for these homogons. At the same time, the map is looking extremely red in favour of Floid, and that is also not going to be caused by the fact that Tex has only got 2 guardsmen out in the field with no sentinel. He will be struggling for map control this early on, especially on a map so large with so few units. But the Homogon's going to be engaging here as the Termagants do bleed a model there. Still the last pistol that Lord Commissar Tyranids is giving a loss of red per kill there. 5 red for the Homogon deaths and 6 red for the Termagon deaths. Meaning that we can see plenty of abilities get used throughout the game. Double guardsmen still in the area, both on 4 models out of 6, and Castations are going to be the first purchase, followed up by second set of Castations as well here for Tex. Castations will be very effective against these Homogons and Termagants with the unreliable. The unreliable damage is also increased with execution as well, so we could see that later on. The Bionic Eye perhaps in tier 2. Castations do get a bit insane with the Bionic Eye, increase the +3 movement speed, the heal on all the models, and the insane amount of damage, and that is going to be a dead guardsman squad getting knocked over by the Hive Tyrant before retreating away there. Hive Tyrant is able to actually finish him off. The Commissar himself getting very low as well. The Hive Tyrant going to be engaging the second set of guardsmen, but Tex down the guardsman squad is left though with 2 Castations. And Castations here going to try and melee down some Homogons. The Homogons will also be taken down here in this engagement, not having the best of pathing on retreat. Another unreliable going to take down an extra Termagon model. Both players trading fairly equally in the sense that Homogons are worth a similar amount to the Guardsmen, considering the Guardsmen were unupgraded without a Sergeant. And triple generators here as well for Tex, or actually 2 generators here for Tex, 2 generators for Floid. And Homogons are getting replaced as well. You can see that Floid is building them right now and already has a second Homogon brood out anyway, since he went for a 2 Homogon build to begin with. But Floid with a very melee heavy army, only Termagants. As a ranged source of damage, these warriors also going to be another source of ranged damage, given that they're upgrading it to the Barb Strangler. Barb Strangler very effective against IG in particular, since it's very easy. You just need to catch up to 1 model to actually suppress the entire squad, which is a massive pain. And given that IG have a lot of models per squad, the Barb Strangler, if it does actually hit all the models, is going to be doing a lot of damage to the squad overall. But these Castations on the right hand side going to get caught out there by that Barb Strangler, going to get suppressed, and the Homogons are going to be able to go in here. Shotgun Blast is available to actually keep these Homogons at bay. The Barb Strangler being so annoying though to these Castations. Castations going to get caught out now. Shotgun Blast gets cancelled there. You actually saw the energy get drained and then refunded as the ability did get cancelled, and a couple of Castation models will be going down. Castation models do cost power to reinforce, so if you keep on reinforcing your Castations, you will be delaying your own tech. Castations on the left hand side as well. There is an IED here, but the Homogons placed in such a way that the IED would actually have little effect against them. Commissar. Now that he's seeing the warriors out on the field, I would assume that the Commissar might be going for a power sword upgrade. The power sword is extremely effective against warriors that they are heavy infantry, and the Commissar is a single target and might be able to actually sneak in against these warriors, might be able to avoid the barbed strangler of these warriors and avoid getting suppressed, especially with the ability to increase your speed by +1 with the power sword. The Commissar are going to be engaging here now that the Toxin Sacs ability is on cooldown here for the Termagants, and when I say Toxin Sacs I mean the Crippling Poison ability. But the Commissar running into that barbed strangler there, maybe would have avoided it if he kept on running ahead, but instead getting hit by it and getting hit by it again. And that's the thing, once you get suppressed with that barbed strangler, it makes it very easy for succession shots to actually land, making it very annoying. And Catcher is going to be on that left hand side, going to be capping and being very annoying here against Floid. Heavy weapons team is set up, that Hive Tyrant is just going to be so tanky. The heavy weapons team will actually get tied up in melee combat, and Catchers could also force melee onto the warriors. They do actually do power melee damage, but the Crippling Poison is going to be coming in, and that combined with a barbed strangler shot is going to suppress these Catchers, but the Catchers will not get suppressed as the warriors are going to try and focus down the heavy weapons team instead, and Catchins desperately trying to force melee here. There are also some Catchins here which can actually try and flank in and join the fight. The barbed strangler is going to land since it's point blank, and the Catchins will get forced off. The heavy weapons team was also forced off onto 5 models out of 6 Catchins. Should be able to live on all models. And as I say that, Harmagon actually does pick up a Catchin model in the end. Unreliable coming in from these flanking Catchins, but the Catchins look like they're a bit reluctant to actually go into melee combat, given that they are currently alone right now. The Catchins trying to pick their fight very carefully, could even put an IED, in fact they are putting an IED into the ground right now. Could catch out some units if they manage to force a retreat here, but Harmagons in particular tend to be fairly spread out in comparison to other units such as, like say, Heretics, where they got 8 models as well. The warriors could definitely be a target for the IED on retreat. Heavy weapons team is going to be suppressing these Homagons, and guardsmen are going to be trying to lay out as much damage as possible. There is a brood there set up, so these Catchins will definitely need to go in for a bit of a heavier flank and flank that brood, as Raveners also getting purchased here, going to be a counter to that heavy weapons team, but the Lord Commissar trying to do what he can against these warriors. Raveners going to be burrowing in onto that heavy weapons team. Refractor shield comes in tier 2 and could be very useful as a counter to these Raveners, letting the lead model actually stay up, allowing the Raveners, or making the Raveners take a little bit of extra time to actually interrupt the heavy weapons team. The Commissar, still no power sword on him, will get forced off though, as he did manage to tie up a fairly large chunk of the army there of Floids for quite some time. And Tech's also going to be the first person to tier 2, already 3/4 done. Meanwhile, Floid hasn't actually started to take up to tier 2 yet, but does actually have the resources to do so. Catchin is still going around the map and actually just capping. IED could have maybe gone off onto those Homagons there, but rather save it for a retreat and see if he can force Floid off in a massive group, where the ID will have more of a chance to actually kill something or wipe something, or be that much more destructive. But 10 red going down here, I'm not actually sure what that 10 red was for in particular. The power bash continues here for Floid. Going to be taking down 2 generators there, going to be taking down a power node. Homagon's going to be caught out though by the heavy weapons team here. And the heavy weapons team getting executed there by the Commissar for that 100% damage boost. The Wild Strangler Warrior is still being extremely annoying here. Did actually miss that shot, went between the Guardsman and the Commissar there, and the Chimera is coming out, and Chimera, or transports in general on this map, are going to work extremely well, given how large the map is, and transports giving a lot of mobility. Warriors still on 2 out of 3 models. The Commissar is going to try and tie in melee combat here, but the Raveners going to be kiting away this Lord Commissar Toxin Sacs, or the Crippling Poison ability from the Toxin Sacs upgrade. Going to be coming in very useful to actually stop that Commissar in his tracks, but can only be used once, but that's all you need to actually force the Commissar down. But in tier 2 now, if the Commissar gets a stubbornness bonus and gets some other war gears, he will definitely be lost. He definitely won't be stopped in time. And we could actually see that retreat IED come in handy now if it's still up, and it is still up here. Going to maybe go for the warriors instead here. The text wasn't actually paying attention to that IED, which is a shame. Could have maybe wiped warriors, some more IEDs as well onto the generator farm here. Homagon's going to be making their way towards mid. I'm not sure if Floyd noticed that there is an IED here. The warriors should have detected it on their way retreating back to base. And these Catchins have been doing so much work on the sides here as well, being able to take down incomplete power here of Floyd, and been doing some good job at just side capping as well. Shotgun blast going to go off, but only catching out most of the Homagon models, but not catching out 3 of them, who are still clawing away at these Catchins, and all the rest of the models leaping in here. Could see the IED go off, will go off here, but the Homagons do dodge it for the most part, only losing a couple of models here. Catchins still on this right hand side here. trying to do what they can. Warriors able to actually detect the IED, and Castertins unreliable, falling a little bit too long there. Could have tried to maybe knock back the other units instead. There's another IED here as well. Going to be catching out a set of Homogons, so we're down to just 1 out of 8 models. As more Homogons taking a lot of damage. Floid bleeding a fair few models here to these IEDs. That is going to be a dead Homogon squad most likely. Although it does manage to retreat away, and the Chimera is so slow to actually follow it up. And the units inside the Chimera do not exit to try and force melee or anything like that. And Floid going to be getting a Zoanthrope from his base. Zoanthropes were changed in previous patch so that they no longer snare vehicles, but the Zoanthrope is still a very strong unit doing AoE damage, which will be very effective against these double Castertins and Guardsmen if they are grouped up, and at the same time can also be used to do a decent amount of damage to the vehicle. Bionic Eye has been purchased onto the Commissar, but still no weapon or accessory has been purchased here. I'm surprised to not see the Power Sword here for Tex. Bionic Eye means that Tex is presumably going to be keeping his Castertins very close to the Lord Commissar now, and especially with his Aura of Discipline, you want to keep Castertin, or at least a Castertin squad next to your Commissar so you can actually constantly execute them with that Bionic Eye and give them the insane boosts that come with it. The Venom Cannon has been purchased on the Hive Tyrant as well, which does some AoE damage to infantry and does a lot of damage to vehicles as well. No Venom Brood though for Floid just yet. Might not even get a Venom Brood, might just stick with the Venom Cannon on the Hive Tyrant and might ignore or forego that range synapse. But Guardsman here, execution just went off, but did actually bug here by the looks of it. That Zoanthrope doing a lot of damage though, and it's going to be forcing that Guardsman squad off in the end. The Commissar himself is going to be retreating as well. Chimera and Guardsman alone not going to be the most potent force against the entire, or a very large chunk of Floyd's army here. Heavy weapons team getting caught out, but the double Castertins are here. Double shotgun blast could go off here, and the heavy weapons team will live overall. A second shotgun blast is going to go off here, and these Homogons should back away. These Castertins can easily win this fight against double Homogons here, especially given how low these Homogons are. Castertins do very well in melee with their power melee, and could even be unreliable on the retreat path of the Castertins, or on the path of these Homogons here to try and finish them off. But the Castertins not really having the energy to actually do that. All Castertin abilities do cost 40 energy to use. 311 VPs to 268 here. Floyd slightly low on VPs, did also get power bashed quite a bit, but then so did Tex as well before Floyd got power bashed, and now Tex is going to get power bashed as well. Both players wanting to power bash each other very frequently, and some more IEDs getting placed on the retreat path here could be fairly painful if Floyd does get forced off here on this push. The heavy weapons team is going to be inside this Chimera as well, going to be setting up to try and defend what's left of this area. Double Homogons though could end up fighting these double Castertins here. Double Castertins should be able to win with their abilities. But the Commissar is going to be running in here. The Commissar still doesn't have any weapon upgrades yet, so he's not going to be the most effective in melee combat. With that Aura of Discipline and Bionic Eye, really needs a Castertin squad next to him to actually execute and make use of those two war gear purchases. The Homogon's going to get forced off here by the double Castertins as well, using an IED to actually force the Homogons off before the Castertins even need to get into melee combat, really. The Warrior's getting very low right now on one model, hour 3. If the next Warrior dies, and that's the squad, goodbye. But now the double Castertins are going to be jumping into a fight. That could be a dead Warrior squad if they get a very nasty retreat path. Castertins going to try and go for these Raveners here. I think they should have maybe gone for the Warriors here instead. Warrior's going to try and remain on field. Ravener though could go down here. Manages to just barely dodge that IED on retreat. Cavalry Tower going to be going down. Floyd going to be trying to set up shop here. The Castertins getting a little bit low here to take quite a lot of range damage. That Venom Cannon on Hive's turn as well did land a couple of shots, doing a fair amount of splash damage as well. In fact, a bunker getting placed down as well on this left hand side. Castertins should be able to protect this bunker fairly easily. Can you also place IEDs on the bunker as well to actually prevent or kill units inside it without killing the bunker itself, I believe. That's what I was told. But the Venom Cannon on that Hive Tyrant though going to be enough to force that Chimera away, and Assault Kit Stormtroopers are a very nice choice to actually snipe that Brood Nest. The problem is that they need to get out of combat because the Zoanthrope has got 2 shots on them and is getting a bit low. Double Homogon's going to be capping that area. Castertins, this bunker still has not been upgraded to a medical bunker, so the Castertins are unable to actually reinforce or heal up from it. I think they should maybe place down some IEDs in the area. Wait, now it's just been upgraded to a medical bunker. The Castertins are going to be reinforcing on the field. Really need to place down some IEDs just in case. Some mines also going to get placed down to this bunker. It should be fairly well defended, especially with the double castions in the area. If any unit tries to enter, you can always put down 2 IEDs and try and kill the units inside. And now there's a triple cap for Floid. Tex does need to actually move out of his base, especially while Floid is taken up to tier 3. Floid will have no extra units out on the field just yet. 189 VPs to 268. Double castions making a push now on this left-hand side here. And double homogons both fully upgraded here, now on 10 models rather than 8, because of that tier 2 upgrade reinforced 2 at a time, but there's nothing for them to actually reinforce from these castions, just destroying these homogons with their abilities alone. And at the same time, Tex also trying to push in onto this right hand side. The Assault Kit Stormtroopers trying to get a snipe onto that Zoanthrope. The Zoanthrope energy shield is going to be a bit too much, and it's just going to sit back, wait for them to regenerate, and it's going to come back into combat once it's healthy again. But Floid not actually having, or only having 117 red, not really enough to place down a brood nest, especially if you want to actually make use of those tier 3 global abilities. The Assault Kit Stormtroopers trying to infiltrate here, but that Zoanthrope sitting very far back in the bionic eye. Execution going down onto these Stormtroopers. Look how rapid these things are going. These guys are motoring completely, and the Zoanthrope is going to be a target here. The Barb Strangler Warriors unable to actually get a shot onto these Stormtroopers, going to even force melee on them in the end. But it's not going to be enough here unless they actually get a retreat grenade, but it's not going to happen because of how quick this Zoan is going to be in retreat. Ravener's also getting brought back into the combat once again, and the Power Sword has now been purchased for the Lord Commissar. It's a very cheap war gear and a very efficient war gear as well, especially against these warriors. And looks like Tex is able to actually push through on this left hand side. Meanwhile, the Castions are able to force off the Homogons on that left hand side. The Commissar, getting a little bit too greedy, is going to go down in the end. The Homogons trying to avoid a fight here with the double Castions, but the Castions try to chase them down, and the Chimera is going to be coming in for a hot pickup on these Guardsmen as the Homogons do actually try to enclose in. Castion squad might be able to finish off this Homogon squad on retreat. Needs to actually force melee. Not forcing melee in time. A second squad is also in the area. Could use Unreliable to finish the squad off in particular though. And Floyd is also fully retreating away, and the Homogon squad will live overall. 132 VPs to 253. Floyd now getting forced off the field completely. This is now time for Tex to actually go and reclaim the entire map for his own Guardsmen in base. Ogre is going to be the purchase here, and Floyd, now that he's tier 3, most likely going to be saving up for that Carnifex. Carnifex is about 600 requisition, 150 power. I think I'm wrong about the requisition cost, but it definitely does cost 150 power. And then you've got to invest another 50 power or so in the upgrade for it. So Carnifex is not the most cheap units, but a very effective unit. Could be a Barb Strangler Carnifex. Barb Strangler Carnifex does plasma cannon damage, effective against infantry, even effective against vehicles if you actually are able to land those shots as well. But the double Castion is going to get forced off here. Hive Tyrant does push in that Venom Cannon along with the Zoanthrope, the AoE damage, doing quite a lot here. In fact, bringing these Castions, level 3 Castions, down to half health. Chimera is going to be set up on this right hand side here. And Guardsmen do need to repair it, or the Heavy Weapons team also needs to repair it in fact. And Ogre is going to keep getting that Bonehead upgrade. The problem is that Floyd's got his entire army nearly surrounding this Ogre squad in particular. The Ogres can actually see what is going on in the outside. Going to be using those Ripper Guns to try and get some damage onto these Homogons. In fact, the Ripper Guns actually do fairly decent amounts of damage for a melee unit. But when you use that charge ability from the Ogres, they actually forget to fire their weapons. The Ogre is going to try and get kited around here. Raven is going to be trying to do what they can. Termagons could even go in for a crippling poison. That bunker is also going to get taken down by the Venom Cannon on that Hive Tyrant. And Ogre is going to be forced to engage in melee combat. Might even be forced to just retreat away instead at this point. Assault Kit Stormtroopers coming in. That Zoanthrope is going to live. Does retreat instantly as soon as it takes any ranged fire damage, making it very annoying to actually kill as IG. Could always get the Flak Jacket on the Lord Commissar. But then you've already got the Bionic Eye upgrade, so there's no point upgrading to a Flak Jacket just to kill a single Zoanthrope. But the Castion are reliable, is going to go off. A second one could actually follow up at this point as well. That Hive Tyrant though with the Warp Field is going to be just so tanky. Has no abilities to use, so the Warp Field upgrade comes in very handy since you can use all of your energy on that energy shield and nothing else. But the Lord Commissar is going to get replaced. In fact, these units are retreating to a weird path. They've actually got a Chimera base set up here onto the VP. Ravener's going in a little bit too aggressively here, taking a lot of damage down to just a single model, down to just 22 HP. But all the IEDs have been cleared from the retreat path here. 130 VPs, 187. Floyd still in the lead with VPs. The Carnifex is also coming out at this point. But I'm not sure how well the Carnifex can do. If the Carnifex is upgraded to a ranged variant, these Ogrins, when executed with the Bionic Eye, could really do a lot of damage to them if they don't get slowed by the crippling poison from these Termagants, of course. But some Ogrins, if it's a fawn-back Carnifex, it might struggle to actually get its melee combat, but the Ogrins will definitely not be able to fight it in melee. The Floid going to be pushing in from this bottom. The VP is going to be hotly contested now as it's currently neutral. Heavy Weapons team won't be able to stop that Hive Tyrant from capping, though the Stormtroopers also getting detected by the Warriors, going to get forced off the zone. Going to try and do what he can to the Heavy Weapons team, who's actually focusing down the Warriors instead. Meanwhile, at the very top here, the Termagants are going to be going down here by the looks of it. In fact, the Termagant squad might just live. The Ripper guns are not going to do enough damage, or are they? They will. But they did actually get a decap on their requisition point, although losing a set of Homagants is probably not worth it to just decap a fully matured requisition point. Carnifex now on the field is upgraded with that Barb Strangler, can also spawn Spore Mines from this Carnifex as well. And Tex might regret this beacon if this push works out well. The beacon might actually cause problems if you retreat to the beacon instead of retreating back to base here. But we'll see how this beacon goes. These Stormtroopers are so low right now, but the suppression from the Heavy Weapons team is going to be so useful. Ogren's now going to be jumping into the fight. The Ogrins could do a really nice charge, and Stormtroopers desperately needing to reinforce a Brood Nest even getting placed down, but the Bionic Eye execution onto the Ogrins could be huge here right now. Ripper's going to get tied up. In fact, Floyd just doing a full retreat, and that Brood Nest is going to get killed, and that's going to be a little bit of a wasted red. At the same time, on this left hand side, the Barb Strangler Carnifex is going to be forcing up the double Castians that were in the area. And in fact, the Ogrins might be better off with the Lord Commissar to go onto that left hand side and deal with the Barb Strangler Carnifex. With the Aura of Discipline, they might actually have the tankiness to kill it, especially when it doesn't have any melee resistance at all. At the same time, 1,350 health of vehicle armor might be a bit too much for them to handle as a solo squad. Potentially an autocannon could get purchased onto the Heavy Weapons team, so if the Carnifex did jump into the fight, an execution onto the autocannon would really shred that Carnifex, or even just shred anything on this Tyranid army as well. Mine's going to slow Floyd down somewhat, as he actually does need to stop and try and kill these mines, although then he just walks on top of them anyway. With detection, the mines do not go off when you walk on top of them. You just need to be careful that they can still detonate through people focusing them down, or you focusing them down by accident, in which case they will still do damage and actually hurt. 127 VPs to 161, currently a 2-to-1 cap here for Tex. Floyd slowly bleeding VPs. VPs going to become slowly equal soon at this point in time. Carnifex though going to be heavily defending that top area. Warriors also getting upgraded. In fact, that's the second set of Warriors. In fact, second set of Warriors going to be coming out with the Adrenal Glands upgrade. Catachans will need to be careful. These Catachans also sitting idle at the same time. Meanwhile, an engagement is going down here at the bottom side. Ogrins going to be trying to chase down these Warriors. Bionic Eye is actually going to use onto the Guardsmen instead. Guardsmen unable to actually retreat because of this execution here. You can see them trying to move, but they're not retreating away, and the Guardsmen will actually die in the end here. That's something that you do need to be careful of when trying to when executing units. You cannot retreat them away, so you need to make sure that they're going to be in a safe enough position. And at the same time, the Catachans up here actually went down. The Catachans did not retreat away, and now Floyd is going to be coming in for a flank with this Behemoth Carnifex with a Barb Strangler as well, which is going to be so effective because all units are going to be grouped up when he retreats to this beacon at the same time. Heavy Weapons team is going to get forced off in the end here. The Barb Strangler Carnifex is going to try and do what it can, and the Carnifex will be able to take down this Chimera since it does do plasma cannon damage instead of Barb Strangler damage, like these Warriors with Barb Strangler if they're still alive. Different damage types, even though it's the same weapon. The Commissar is going to try and move into the area. Does have a lot of energy, but doesn't actually have any health to go with all that energy. In fact, he might even just go down. The Refractor Shield is going to be turned on that Bionic Eye. Does grant extra energy as well. And now here comes the autocannon purchase as well. The problem is that there's pushes coming in from either side. The Ogrins going to be going in. Still no Bionic Eye execution though onto the Ogrins, and I really think that it should get used because these Ogrins with the Bionic Eye upgrade will easily chase down this Carnifex. As much as you are executing an expensive model, you just do get a lot of damage from it, especially while the Ogrins are very low and still on 4 models. An execution here would be really crucial, really clutch in fact. The Ogrins now getting executed here, but they're still only on just 1 model. The Raven is going to be jumping onto that Heavy Weapons team. The Chimera itself getting focused down by that Hive Tyrant. Retreat Beacon is going to get killed fairly soon. Heavy Weapons team is going to be going down to Raven as a Warrior squad is also going to be going down to Ogrins, although the suppression from that Barb Strangler Carnifex is going to come in just in time to stop these Ogres from pushing any further forward. The Stormtroopers getting absolutely destroyed here by that Barb Strangler Carnifex. grenade is going to get thrown down, but the grenade is going to matter too much. Those stormtroopers are going to barely be able to escape here. 96 VPs to 121, some spore mines coming in here. I think that's from a cavalry tower or potentially from the Carnifex itself. But takes down a loss of units. Floid did lose a set of warriors, did lose a set of homagons as well, I think, in that engagement, but Tex is going to be the person with the bigger losses here in the end. Also, Cannon is going to set up, not going to do too much against a Hive Tyrant, who's level 7, in fact, has so much energy and health, 1,597 health and 165 maximum energy, which is just an insane amount. If he's full health, he can actually tank so much. And look how little the Orsican is actually doing to the Hive Tyrant in particular. It's done a fair chunk of damage, but even still, that Hive Tyrant is able to just tank it like it's nothing. The Zoanthrope is coming in. Carnifex is still fairly low, but it's got a lot of health regen though right now, and that's because of the level 4 Zoanthrope in the area, which I believe does give the Carnifex the extra health regen that we're seeing right now. All these Tyranid synapses combined together, going to be a bit much here, and Tex is making his way outside of base. But this final push, I'm not actually sure what he can do right now. It's a triple cap here for Floid. He really has secured his victory by taking out so many of Tex's units, the Chimera, the Catachins, the Guardsmen, and the Commissar also going down. The Commissar only level 4 in comparison to that level 7 Hive, or level 8 Hive Tyrant, in fact. That Hive Tyrant is a force to be reckoned with, and by himself, Ogrins without their bonehead could try and execute them for the 2 models, but I don't think it will work out too well. And the triple cap is going to get defended here by Floid. Units on the left hand side, units on this side, and Broodnest on this side to just stand there and look scary. But this is going to be game. Floid is going to win this 1v1 on Leviathan Hive. And if you like this cast, be sure to like and subscribe. If you don't like the cast, then let me know why in the comments.